and colleagues, you will realise that we're still at a complex and sensitive stage in establishing a future for Supporters Direct. And I really don't think I want to say much more about that today. But let me as Chair tell you this. For the last 2 years, the Board has been actively discussing the fact that Supporters Direct is perilously vulnerable in the context of relying on one single key funder. And we've been developing a strategy to diversify our income. You will see some of that in the early discussion, reflected in our programme brochure, with the recent agreement with the cooperative to become specialist advisors within the Cooperative Enterprise Hub, giving us access to funding for training and development of supporters' trusts. And I want to express our huge thanks to the cooperative group for stepping up at short notice to fill in the funding gap so that this conference could go on as planned. You will also have the chance to attend some of the events around the UEFA-sponsored work in Europe, which is hugely inspiring, and our thanks to UEFA for their support during the last couple of months. Our rugby wing also received some funding from the RFL and yet again from the cooperative group. But the Board knows that there is still a long way to go, and has anyway already been discussing the next steps in our fundraising strategy. We are still absolutely committed to doing what we can to secure enough funding to give us the anticipated 3-year breathing space to put those plans into effect. And I think our Acting Chief Executive, Brian Burgess, will say a little bit more about that later. But in the meantime, let me welcome you again to Chester and ask you to join us in sending a very clear and strong message from this event this weekend, that the Supporter Trust movement is alive and kicking, and it intends to stay so. Thank you very much and welcome.